mutual respect do you have for a team like the Spurs? You've knocked them out of the playoffs, they've knocked you out, you've got game where, Derek Fisher shot. You have had a different level of respect for them as a team, as a franchise, as an organization, based on you guys are kind of similar in many ways.
Sure, for sure. Because you understand how hard it is to stay on top for so many years. The amount of effort that you have to put into it, the amount of focus and work and togetherness, and it's tough.
Lamar Odom, how important, obviously very important to him to make the All-Star team. Personally, how would you feel for him if he was chosen?
I think it's well-deserved. You know what I mean? I'd be happy for him, be excited for him. He definitely should. So hopefully we'll.
Pal two?
Pal two.
Kobe, you mentioned the constructive conversation you had with Saul just about being more assertive. And it seems like you've always had the relationship since you got here. You can have those talks. When do you decide when to have conversations? Is it always a constant open dialogue?
No, it's a feel. It's a feel. Just, learning my guys and knowing when the right time is.
And he's obviously a smart guy. It seems like he's responsive. And what is the feedback that he comes back? Just that he agrees that he should be more assertive?
Yeah. No, I mean, we've since the first day he got here, we've been able to have these talks. I remember in Boston last year in the finals, and I couldn't sleep, he couldn't sleep. I called him up to my room at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we talked. I mean, that's we just have a great relationship.
What was that conversation?
It's about execution, what we're going to do for the next game, and the series going forward, and how they play them defensively, how they play me defensively, and what we can do.
San Antonio actually lost last night. I mean, it seems like people keep waiting for them to go on that string where they lose, 3 out of 5 or something like that. It hasn't happened. What's different about this team this year?
They're very consistent.
They're like historically consistent. I think they had the 4th or 5th best record ever going into February. It's been a marked improvement from the last couple of years anyway.
Yeah, they started really slow last year because of injuries. And so, everybody was kind of saying that their probably days were numbered, but, here they are, leading the conference in the league.
What does it say, like sort of a decade plus later, it's still Lakers versus Spurs on top of the conference?
Some of it's about personnel. Duncan and Parker came after that in 2000, but have been really great performers for them. Ginobili filling in, they've had some real good performances. A lot of it's about the coaching, about their personnel, being able to pick up players, and the coaching that Popovich has done.
What stood out to you about Popovich over the years in terms of separating himself from others?
He doesn't get kicked out of more games than he does.
What's West is like more psychological sports to try to catch up to them as opposed to securing a spot at the time?
It's way too early to talk about that. We can talk about that at the end of March.
From a sort of a structural standpoint, just in terms of the way the organization is run, do you see similarities between you guys?
No.
Why?
Well, I won't enumerate it, but, I think Popovich is a much bigger personality in his organization than I am, because he was a general manager before, and Bob Hill was coaching, and then he came down, and, I think he's had a much bigger role than I do.
Yeah, it was, it was a game where we had to compete, from start to finish. I mean, there were some times where we had, what seemed to be not a comfortable lead, but, we were in good position to finish the game. And Houston just kept fighting hard. So, we knew they would, and they did, and we had to play an extra 5 minutes to secure the win.
What do you think about the Spurs coming in tomorrow?
They're the best team in basketball right now in terms of not just their record, but I think they're playing at a high level. They're playing, a selfless brand of basketball. And, I think we can anticipate a game again where, we're going to have to fight every second of every minute to figure out a way to win.
Does anything change tactically or psychologically in the fact that they're the ones leading in the standings as opposed to you guys normally defending yourself?
No, not. not a regular season game at this point. I don't think. You know, they're far enough ahead of the pack. You know that obviously, you know, winning games still matters and it's important. But you know, there isn't a 8-game, you know, window on the line tomorrow. I mean, we can only win one game tomorrow. So, you know, I think we'll go out and play the game. You know, as it presents itself as an opportunity to play against a great team, and you know, kind of re-solidify ourselves as a really good, if not great, home court team. You know, we talked about that last night as a group. You know, we've dropped some home games that, despite, you know, the talk about how good we're playing or not playing, you know, to be the team we want to be, we have to be dominant at home. You know, teams can't come into our building and win games. So if we just start there, you know, win your home games, and then, you know, you can go out on the road and find ways to win later.
You guys have been jockeying for playoff position back and forth, trading titles back and forth since about '99. What do you think it says about both these organizations that you managed to stay in that race for so long?
Yeah, well, you know, the first thing that jumps out really is that there isn't one way to do it. And, you know, in particular with, you know, some of the talks during, you know, collective bargaining about competitive balance and trying to more evenly spread the parity through the financial, you know, system. You know, I think the Spurs and the Lakers have shown that it's not necessarily just about salary numbers or coaching styles or which offense you run. It's really about your ability to have the right coach, you know, the right management and leadership styles, the right personnel to fit the things that you're trying to do. And I think the Spurs have done an excellent job, obviously starting with the selection of Duncan in 1999 and then surrounding him with the right type of players. And I think the Lakers have done the same thing. But the organizations have done it, you know, in totally different ways. And, you know, it says a lot about the ability, you know, both teams have shown to do the things necessary to stay on top.
Do you like looking up and still seeing them there? It's a lot, but
No, I don't. You know, I don't know if I ever view them differently based on their record, you know, wins and losses. I think regardless of, you know, our win-loss record or their win-loss record, you know, when you play the Spurs, you know what game you're in for. You know they're going to play tough, you know, hardcore defense. They're going to share the ball. They're going to execute on offense. And they're going to put the ball in the hands of their best players to make the decisions. And that's something that hasn't changed for years. You know, they've, you know, had one of the highest winning percentages of all teams in the last decade. So to me, year to year, they don't change much. They're always really, really good.
Do you guys have the same rep then? Is there something that people think like that about every time you play the Lakers, you're going to get X, Y, or Z?
I'm not sure. You know, I guess in their locker rooms, you know, you can kind of ask them what, you know, how they feel about the way we do things or our approach to it. You know, I think they know we run the triangle offense. You know, by and large, you know, Kobe Bryant's going to be the focal point of what we do in terms of putting him in a position to help us do what we need to do. Pau Gasol is going to be a guy we focus on. But, you know, I think our rep is, you know, similar to the Spurs. Our rep is, you know, we win. And that's the rep you want to have.